if someone beats you, he'll beat you again. Like, create a peaceful environment for everyone. It's not a big deal when a man cheats. You can actually date 3 men at once. Ask for things that you can afford. Things you could be with somebody who is rich, but the person is not generous enough. No one can fill that gap that loving yourself can fill for you. Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. It's me, obviously, Ryoke. How are you doing? So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about requirements that are needed as women before we think about jumping into that committed, serious, or even dating or marriage. Everybody talks about, having that dream wedding, getting the perfect diamond ring, saying yes to the one, finding the one, but nobody really talks about the qualities you're supposed to literally check in yourself before saying, you know what, I think I'm ready for this big step. Because dating is actually, it can be really casual, right? I mean, when you're dating, we're not talking about you sleeping around. You can actually date 3 men at once. That is dating. You're not sleeping with them. Now, you doing this is because you're trying to get the one that really, is more in sync with you, and you feel like your values are aligned. You feel like you guys have a lot in common. You feel like there's something that can grow from that. That's when you're dating 3 people, because you kind of want to know if you guys align, right? But then once you find that one person, do you have those qualities that you feel are very necessary to now say, yes, I'm ready to commit to this one person, and I'm ready to move on with this person and see where this leads us? That's right. Do you have these qualities? Now, this video is going to be an eye-opener. Now, without yapping too much, let's get right into the video. Now, first things first, you need to know who you are. You have to be self-aware. You need to know your identity. Now, you need to know what your personality is. You need to know what your principles are. You need to know what your values are. You need to know basically everything about yourself. Now, we can't really know ourselves to the fullest, but to an extent, when somebody is talking about you, if that person really knows you, most of the things that the person is saying, you most likely would resonate to them, because in your mind, you'll be like, I feel like this person really knows me, or this person is really saying things that I do, or things I don't know, or things I don't do. Do you get? So literally, you have to know yourself. You have to be self-aware. You have to really know who you are. That way, it doesn't lead to resentment. Before committing to anybody, if you don't know who you are, before you know it, you start to resent that person. You start to look at that person as if that person has deprived you of certain things, when in the actual sense, you were the one at fault. You did not know yourself before committing to that relationship. So in a nutshell, ensure you know who you are. Now, the second point on this list is going to be being emotionally mature. You have to have emotional maturity. Now, being in a committed relationship or even marriage is not fairy tale, it's not child's play. I can't believe I'm talking about marriage or giving marriage advice. This is not marriage advice, I beg. It's not like I've been married for so long, but at least I know that to an extent, these things have helped me. Now, you have to know how to communicate honestly. You shouldn't be someone who, at the time of disagreement, you're shouting, you're sulking, or you're literally shutting down. Shutting down does not help, because if you think about it, it would lead to emotional buildup. You cannot just keep taking and taking and taking without talking or communicating. There will definitely be disagreements. I come from a family where my parents are together, and then I have a couple of friends who also have parents who are together. One thing we've had in common, at least when we talk, is their conflict resolution. Many times we don't even know when they are fighting. At least when I was growing up, we didn't really know when my mom and dad are fighting, right? They never had any form of disagreements that they would start having altercations. They used to know how to settle it. Aside the fact that you just see that they will not be talking to themselves, and at some point they will just, my mom will start acting up. Of course, she's a woman. She'll be doing shakara, doing a peacock. But then that's by the way. But their conflict resolution was very good. Their communication was very good, and it just taught me that you should talk to your partner. You should be able to communicate with your partner very well. You should be able to manage your emotions very well. That way, you guys are in sync. You guys align. You guys are on the same page. Are you one who usually explodes when something happens, or you literally just see everything the way they are or the way they come to your head when you're in the heat of conflict? You do realize that you're supposed to calm down if you're one who is really always heated, who is always very argumentative, you can actually calm down, and then when everybody is all calm, you can then communicate with your partner and say, oh, okay, something like, my darling, I didn't like the way you spoke with me earlier, or I didn't like the way you talked earlier. I didn't like the fact that you didn't listen to me while I was trying to relay my message across to you. I would really love it that you listen to me more. That way we're able to understand each other better. What do you think? Of course, if everybody was shouting at each other, there's no how I would have communicated this with my partner. That's definitely not going to happen. I would also be talking and shouting, and obviously it will escalate to almost insulting each other. I don't need that. So tell me, do you think emotional maturity comes with age or with effort? Do you think that you're emotionally mature enough to handle certain situations or handle certain do you think that you're emotionally mature to handle conflict or disagreements whenever you have them with your significant other? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Now, next point is financial responsibility. Now, you have to be financially responsible as a woman. It's not about being rich. It's not about having the most of resources, but you need to know how to manage. You need to know how to save. You need to know how to budget. Now, it all goes beyond just having the money. You have to know how to spend your money wisely. Now, if you have your money as a financially responsible person, it will trickle down to your relationship. Now, imagine you being with someone who has a lot of money, right? You're with a rich guy, for instance. Now, rich and generous are two different things. You could be with somebody who is rich, but the person is not generous enough to give you. The person is not a provider. The person doesn't really look at your side, but the guy has money, right? And then you can also be with somebody who has money, but then the person is also generous. Now, I'm using partner now because it's not just marriage we're talking about. We're also talking about committed relationship, right? So now, if your partner is generous and then he gives you money, you shouldn't just be asking for, oh, baby, buy me 2 million naira wig. Come and buy me this Coach bag. Come and buy me this Gucci bag, this LV bag, this Chanel shoe. Come on, guys. I get the fact that, yes, thankfully, he's buoyant and all of that. But, like, you have to save up for rainy day. Now, the only time you'll be able to do this in your relationship is when you are doing it for yourself. Now, as a woman, of course, I preach having your own source of income. It is extremely important for you to have your own source of income as a lady. You should never go into a relationship without having your source of income. I'm of the opinion that you should only ask for things that you can afford by yourself, or to an extent save up and be able to get something. For instance, you want to buy a 2 million naira hair. You should be able to get that hair for yourself, not on the go, but you should be able to, at least if you save up for it, you'll be able to get it. That way, if you're with somebody who is buoyant enough, you know that, okay, if not as if I cannot buy this thing, but like having my baby buy it for me is a plus, because of course I'm a baby girl. Do you get? But then you have to be financially responsible. I'm not saying don't buy luxury things for yourself. I'm not saying be miserly. I'm not saying be stingy. I'm not saying, don't look good or don't spend on yourself, but be financially responsible. You who is working for your money know how hard it is to work for money, right? So definitely you would not just be spending anyhow. And like I said, whatever you do will definitely trickle down into your relationship. As a lady, another requirement or quality you should have before committing to a relationship or even marriage is also having clear standard and boundaries. Having boundaries is not that you're being difficult. It just means that you're setting goals, or are we going to call them rules, for yourself. Now, I'm not saying that you should be overly difficult, you should be overly annoying, you should be overly impossible. That's not what I'm saying. As a lady, you should know what you'd like, what you don't like. You should know what you can accept and what you cannot accept. You should know what's drawing the line. You should know when it feels like, okay, you know what, this is where I draw the line. Do you know that if you do not set boundaries, you tolerate disrespect? You should also know what your deal breaker is. An example is, for some people, cheating is a deal breaker. Like, once they hear that their men have cheated, it's a major deal breaker for them. They cannot move on. They cannot forgive. I mean, we all know that the society doesn't exactly smile at women when women cheat, but then it kind of like enables men to cheat, because you hear things like, oh, men are polygamous in nature. It's not a big deal when a man cheats. If a man cheats on you, he loves you more, but then the side piece is literally like a side play thing, right? We hear all sort of things. For some other people, their deal breakers are when a man beats you. I'm of the opinion that if a man beats you once, he will definitely do it again. It might take 3 months, 1 year, 2 years, but the fact that you take it, you're saying that, oh, okay, it's not a big deal for this girl. Even though she's saying it's a big deal, she's still here. So I'm going to do it again. Now, of course, we should not rule out the impossibility of change. That, oh, okay, he can never change. I just feel like if someone beats you, he will beat you again. That's just my own opinion. But punchline is you just have to know what your deal breaker is. Setting clear boundaries isn't exact. It doesn't mean that you're being difficult. No, it just means that you're protecting your self-worth, you're protecting your peace of mind, you're protecting your sanity, and then you're just helping yourself. Just don't accept rubbish. You don't want to accept rubbish, and you just know when to draw the line. Now, the next point on this list is going to be healing from past trauma. This one, I don't think it's controversial. I feel like everybody should know this. If you are traumatized, if you have past trauma, if you have family issues or heartbreak, you can't carry all of this into a new relationship. Marriage, for instance, cannot fix a pain that you refuse to face. You literally have to do the inner work first. You have to heal, forgive, and then grow. That way you know that you're now at peace. Now, do you know that if you are fighting with someone, for instance, and you're holding on to something, you're holding on to that growth that person has, done to you, right? In the real sense, that person is living rent-free in your head. And that's the honest truth. Now, that person might not even remember that, they've done something. Most times, the perpetrators always know. Don't get me wrong. They always know. But like the fact that you're holding on to that thing, you would even be giving yourself headache. You start me now if I'm angry and I'm holding on to something, I will be having constant headache. I can even be running temperature, and I kid you not, I'm not exaggerating. Once I remember it, and I'm somebody who I relive moments, right? If you do something to me in 2023, if we talk about that thing, how angry I was in 2023 is how angry I would be at the time I'm talking to you. Now, because I know that I have a tendency to relieve those emotions, like I literally will be boiling the same way. It's not like as if that person literally just did that thing to me now, right? I have learned, if you need to see a therapist, my dear, do so. There is no shame in asking for help when you need it. If you need to speak with a mentor, someone older than you, if you need to speak with an imam, a pastor, your mentor, if you need to speak with someone, please do. At least get rid of that pain, that grudge, that hurt that you're feeling. That way you don't throw away something beautiful that is coming to you. You let yourself flourish. When you carry trauma around, you don't believe that the next relationship is going to work out in your favor. There's a tendency that you start projecting what you feel in the new relationship. If your ex cheated on you and in a new relationship just 2 weeks after, the tendency of you saying, last I said you're going to cheat is there. You will not give yourself the ability to even enjoy the peace and quiet that this new relationship might bring. This new person might be your God-ordained husband. It might be your God-ordained partner, but then your trauma is just making you see things from a very microscopic point of view. So please ensure you heal from past trauma before jumping or going into the next committed relationship or marriage. Now tell me, would you marry someone before healing from trauma? Do you think it's right, or do you think it's appropriate? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Now, next on this list is having self-love and confidence. Confidence is very attractive. If you do not love yourself, no one can love you the way you would love yourself. Now, self-love starts from yourself. No one can make me feel down or feel less of myself. I mean, sometimes you can, want to compare yourself with a couple of people here and there, but like self-love is an extremely important quality that you should have before moving into, any committed relationship or marriage. No one can fill that gap that loving yourself can fill for you. Self-love builds confidence, and confidence is attractive. When you truly value yourself, you don't beg for attention. It literally comes to you naturally. Respect comes to you naturally. And it's, like I said, it is super attractive. Next point on this list is going to be knowing your life purpose and knowing your direction. Now, every woman should know their goal, their dreams, their aspirations, what they really want to attain in life, where they see themselves in what, in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months, in the next 5 years, in fact in the next 10 years. Marriage should not be the bane of your existence. It should not be, in fact, your partner should not even be the bane of your existence. Like I said in the last point, I said you have to love yourself before someone else is able to love you. Now, you cannot feel, you can't have a gap in your mind or in your heart and then expect that someone else is going to fill it for you. Same thing applies to having dreams. Now, you cannot just be blank, be empty, and expect that your partner is going to fill the void of your goals, right? Like, why would you have marriage as a goal and aspiration in life? Marriage should be like a topping, an icing to your cake, right? Because as a woman, let us use, let's see, I want to be a banker and I want to attain the highest position I can possibly get to as a banker. You should know the things that you're going to do. You should know that you're going to write ICANN exams. You should know the kind of exam you're going to do. If you want to be a data analyst, for instance, you should know the courses you're going to take. You should know the possible, tech groups. If you need to join internship groups, if you need to join classes, you definitely need to know what to do. Now, when you meet somebody, obviously you're already accumulating all of these qualities I have been talking about, right? But then you're on the path towards your goal, towards your dream. You then meeting somebody who is way higher than you or who just compliments you is a plus for you. When you have your own direction, you bring strength, not desperation, into the relationship. Now, the last but not the least point on this list is having homemaking and relationship skills. It goes beyond cleaning and cooking. You do realize that if you're in, let us use marriage for instance, if you're in a marriage, you're not just married to your partner. Yes, I know that you're married to your partner. Don't eat me wrong for saying that. But then you're also kind of married. In fact, you're merged with his family. So your siblings become his siblings become your siblings, right? So you need to know how to create a perfect, not like perfect, but like create a peaceful environment for everyone. You have to make everyone feel comfortable. That is what having homemaking and relationship skills will do. Now, there are times when you can definitely not say, well, I mean, if you're from a tight-knit family like mine, we are always in each other's spaces, right? So even now I'm married, I have siblings come from my side, I have siblings come from his side, and then we coexist. We live as one happy couple. I'm not saying that they will now come and stay with you permanently. That's not what I'm saying. No, don't take rubbish. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that, like, you have to create a loving environment where nobody feels awkward in your space. Everybody comes, they come visit, they spend a couple of days and then they go. It's one big happy family. A good partner makes their home feel like rest, not chaos. They make people feel comfortable, welcome, not unwelcome, and create an awkward environment for everyone. See, in a nutshell, basic homemaking skill is an extremely important quality in creating a long-lasting relationship or marriage. So ladies, before we start thinking about that beautiful gown, the wedding ring and all of that, let's ensure that we have all of these qualities, or we are fully prepared and capable to get into the relationship that we're eyeing or we're hoping to get into. Remember, your relationship can only be as strong as the foundation you bring to it. So my sisters, which of these qualities do you feel like you already have or you're working on? I would really love to hear your thoughts. And which points or qualities do you think I omitted or that you feel like should be on this list and I didn't talk about them? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I'm really curious to hear what you have to say or what you're thinking. Now, sadly, girls, I have gotten to the end of this video. If you've enjoyed everything I've talked about, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notification bell. You do not want to miss any of my videos. And don't forget to share this to your friends, your girlfriends, your cousins, your sisters. Trust me, we're all going to learn from this. And I know for sure that they most likely will have something to say. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. See you in my next one. Bye.